Kiki ma. This is the Cult Film Showdown, bringing you the masters of horror. I am Jim Cotta, and I am joined on our exploration of the 2006-2007 series Masters of Horror by Nick Boxer.
Hello, I'm poorly done CGI today. Not here live.
And we're experimenting with a chat AI called Jack Hall.
Pa 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 la la la. You gotta give Nick a minute. He needs to wipe.
Caca. Done.
Front to back.
Well, I don't have to worry about yeast infections. Doesn't matter.
That makes sense if you listened to the last episode. And if you didn't listen to the last episode, shame on you. You should have.
It was a good episode.
We did it on.
Yeah. Well, as always, I hope you're listening to us in order, and you're watching the episodes of Masters of Horror, preferably before we talk about them. But we try not to spoil the very end of anything anyway. But it is fun to make this a watch along. So Masters of Horror was a Showtime TV mature audience show that ran in the early 2000s, and there were 26 episodes total, and we are at the top of season 2 of Masters of Horror, episode 1 from season 2, the halfway point right now as you're listening to us. And Jack, tell us who our masters are this time.
Well, we have returning masters in this one. The director is, of course, the highly influential horror director Toby Hooper of Texas Chainsaw Massacre 1 and 2, Life Force, Body Bags, Funhouse, Crocodile, Toolbox Murders and remake, and Poltergeist. One of the all-time masters of the genre. The teleplay is by Richard Christian Matheson. We talked about him before again. He did an earlier episode. He is the son of Richard Matheson of I Am Legend fame. And he himself has written numerous screenplays for telefilms, short stories, everything you can imagine in science fiction and horror. Not as famous a work, in his library as that of his more well-known father, but he's a good hand. The short story is by Ambrose Bierce. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. Bierce, yeah, Ambrose Bierce. It's written for The Damn Thing. It's a short story from 1893.
Wow. And
it's Ambrose Bierce was one of the most influential authors of his generation. And this is one of his many, many short stories and works. He's best known for an occurrence at Owl Creek Bridge, which is
Twilight Zone episode.
Yeah, very, very famous story. So he's kind of probably turning in his grave to think that his name is on this. Not that it's bad, but that it has about as much in common as say this podcast has with the Howard Stern show, and that if you look closely enough,
I
one or two similarities.
I agree that there's audio. Yeah.
Yeah. If you look close enough, if you work hard enough, you'll find a similarity or two. But but as far as an episode is concerned, I don't want to put it down. I think that The Damn Thing here was an interesting episode of Masters of Horror. Nick, why don't you explain to everybody why it was so interesting by telling us, well, what the hell happened?
Well, it's funny that you talk about interesting. We may have a different opinion on this one. Sure. This one stars young Indiana Jones himself, Sean Patrick Flannery, as a small town cop. trying to reconcile with his past. In the past, the town sort of went crazy, and it ended when his father tried to kill him on his birthday, only to commit suicide. But as I think it's his 31st birthday approaches, the same thing starts to happen to the town. People start attacking each other and acting weird and crazy, and he's not quite sure what's going on, and he's dealing with his own past at the same time. And there's the thing with the black goo. That's really all that happens. I did not enjoy this one. I was bored to tears by this one. So that's as far as I'm willing to go with the plot summary.
Yeah, this was an episode.
Don't I can see how you could be bored in this one, because it is I like the kinetic, frantic camera work of a Tobe Hooper project, and this had that. I think, again, it's one of those episodes. I mean, we talk about Ambrose Bierce, with a B. We talk about how this is not similar to his short story, which I did some extensive research into, and it really isn't. But it is similar to pretty much every Stephen King story you've ever heard. So, like, it's one of those things where I kind of enjoyed it, because it was like Toby Hooper was directing a Stephen King short story. It was an adapting a Stephen King short story, because it's very, I mean, it has all the stuff. It has the, the family violence, small town, hidden demon thing, that's been cursed the town for a long time. Like, it has all these Stephen King-ish type things that are regular occurrences in his works. So, I mean, that's why I think I enjoyed it. I came at it from that perspective of, okay, it's light fun. Everything's light fun after the last episode.
But can you honestly say, if you watch the first 5 minutes and the last 5 minutes, you'd miss anything?
It's I'd say that there's a pacing problem. I did find myself drifting away. Once it hits the ground, it moves from then to the end. But it has that challenge that a lot of things do, of, like, from the beginning where roughly where this is going, and you got about 20 minutes of, like, but I know where you're going. Like, you're just you're just showing me the map to where you're going, but I know where we end up. So, like, even it's time that usually goes into character development, but strangely, we're introduced to a lot of people that don't have a lot of motivations. So yeah, I like it once it's rolling. And I enjoy Sean Patrick Flannery. He's got a long resume. And also, like, we missed one of the masters, Ted Raimi.
Oh yes,
who I always enjoy. Ted Raimi's one of those people that I smile as soon as he's on screen, no matter what he's playing. He's just like adding a dash of red pepper flakes to anything.
Interesting way to put it. No, I mean, Ted Raimi is Sam's brother there. Yeah, he's always enjoyable. And this one, he gets to chew some scenery as the town, priest, father. It's, again, I don't think I had a big an issue with the pacing, because I felt like I got just enough characterization and just enough action, and I mean, I can't imagine this thing over 90 minutes would have been torture. Mm-hmm. Don't get me wrong. But I feel at 50 minutes that it came in uh, you know, at a fast enough pace that I enjoyed it for what it was. I mean, it's not. It's, my only big problem with this episode is now I mentioned Sean Patrick Flannery, who probably he does have a long resume. Probably didn't quite hit the heights that I think a lot of people expected he could.
Mhm.
But he has worked a lot. His character. If I saw my father go crazy, shoot my mother, chase me down into the woods where I hid him from a tree. Then I saw him get picked up by some unknown entity, thrown against a truck, his insides ripped outside from inside out of him. I'm probably not staying in that town. I don't know about you, but like,
No, he moved one town over.
and that's where you get a very
No,
Stephen King, where it's
but he kept the
huh,
house.
He kept
He kept the
Oh,
house.
sorry, the father moved one town over.
Yeah, after the first time this happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, so at least his father had the good sense to move away from where the horrible thing happened.
The damn thing found me. That's his father moved away, but he like I'd be moving across the country. You know what I mean? As soon as I'm like of age, like, get the hell out of there. I'd be going from. This is clearly, I'm guessing it's in Maine. I'd be going to the California.
Even in the even in that context, like it's like imagine growing up in a small town and like your dad kills your mom and tries to kill you and takes his life, and you're going to go back to school, like
Yeah.
with everyone knowing that. But I guess they do tell you that like it was one of many violent things that happened that same time. So um, that there were all kinds of horrible things happening in a town. So maybe just everyone agrees not to talk about it.
Well,
we don't talk about the time of the damn thing.
The damn thing, which they sort of they try to explain in a very Stephen King way. They try to explain it. Do you think somebody had read? Do you think Richard Christian Matheson had read it right before this? Anyway,
I'm with you that it does have all the earmarks of a Stephen King. Like it's the father son thing and family violence and children at risk. An important moral lesson at the end.
Yeah.
Which doesn't hold up to close scrutiny.
The scene I have the most trouble with in this is when he sends all the people down to the basement. Do you think he's trying to just get rid of them? Because that seems like a very stupid place to be. With a lot of people who are going insane. That old lady who asked, like, don't send me down with those people. She's toast.
He's not really thinking about her very clearly, is he? Come to think of it. Yeah, you mentioned
he's not thinking about anything there. I mean, it's clearly filmed that he's trying to protect these people, but that is the worst thing you can do with all the clues that he has.
He's more worried about whatever the damn thing is hurting them than about them hurting each other, which is the damn thing makes them hurt each other.
Yeah.
And then if they don't do the job, it just finishes it itself. Is basically how it goes. Like I say, I had fun with this, but the more we talk about it, boy, I can really pick it apart.
Yeah, it I'd say it doesn't stick the landing. The ending doesn't feel that Stephen King, but it feels like Sci-Fi Channel.
It's way too. The ending is way too abrupt.
Yeah, it does just kind of come, and it doesn't feel like part of the flow of the rest of the show.
Yeah, that ending is right out of the mist, I think. Like all of a sudden,
I could give you that. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's one of those episodes. It's one of those things where this is like a tough episode to kind of talk about because we already discussed the director and his works in when we did Dance of the Dead, the episode with Robert Englund in season 1. So we've already discussed Toby Hooper and his works and his influence and his his whatever. We've already discussed Richard Matheson and his works through his earlier works. His son, I believe, adapted one of his stories the first time, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that was correct. Yeah.
So, I mean, we've already kind of discussed the key players here. So all there's left is to discuss it. And it's not, there's not a lot to discuss. Guy's dad kills his mother, gets killed in front of him by some unknown beast. He sticks around. He marries somebody. It doesn't work out. The town goes crazy. He goes crazy. He's not crazy anymore. Everybody's dead. Like, that's.
Even when the town goes crazy, we never get to see like chaos in the streets.
No, they cheaped out on that. They just had the deputy like standing in front of like a little fire, saying like, it's just anarchy down here. Look at that over there. Like, we're not gonna move the camera, but over there's some stuff.
I think you put your brain aside and just watch this one and have fun, because it's, that's what it is. And like I say, anything would be light fun after the last episode we watched.
If you haven't listened to our episode on Imprint, it's okay to have a palate cleanser after that, for sure.
Definitely. Schindler's List is light fun after Imprint.
See, I don't know. I would classify Toby Hooper's last one was it Day of the Dead, or the political one. That was light fun.
Nope.
This is just
Homecoming.
Homecoming was the political one. That was Joe Dante. He did Dance of the Dead with Robert Englund.
Right, which was weird.
Which is really weirder than this by a ton.
Definitely weird.
This is fairly straightforward.
Yeah.
Well,
right,
I think we're done with this episode already, aren't we?
Yeah.
Like, stretching at this point. Like, so what else do you guys watch lately? Did you get around to? I did not get around to watching. You Found It. We were talking about it in the episode. Pick Me Up.
Pick Me Up. Yeah.
We talked about the amazing, in many ways, Michael Moriarty and his film. You Found It. What was it? Jesus Christ meets Hitler.
Yeah, Hitler meets Jesus, but close enough. I think if you find a movie with the other title, you should watch both.
Yes. Damn straight. So You Found It. You've uploaded it for us. I have not had time to watch it yet. I was going to watch it yesterday, didn't get around to it. But I would fill out the episode talking about that, I'm sure, otherwise. But just the fact that you found it means that it's out there. Everybody should find it and watch it.
Yeah, I don't have a place to point you. It is in like the gray to plaid web, as opposed to the sources we would normally direct you to. I did just watch a Michael Moriarty horror movie though, called The Dark Tower. The Dark Tower, 1988, is Michael Moriarty and Jenny Agutter.
That's on Tubi, right?
It is on Tubi. That's correct.
That's so 1988. This would have been about the start of Law and Order.
Kind of ballpark, probably a little after this. Yeah, 87, 88 is when it came out. One thing says 88, one says 87. But yeah, and 2 directors credited. That's always going to be good. But I love Jenny Agutter, so I was in for that. And then
I don't know her.
Logan's Run, American Werewolf in London.
Okay.
Biggest things. Yeah, she's the nurse in American Werewolf in London.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
All right.
No.
The Cult Film Showdown is on Instagram, and we're on Patreon, and we have a YouTube channel. Please like and subscribe. Comment the heck out of those. All of our past episodes are there, and WeTalkPodcast.com is our sponsor, and they have a Facebook and they have a Twitter. And WeTalkPodcast.com is the home of amazing podcasts, including this one and including We Talk Music and We Talk Comics. And next time we will be on episode 2, season 2, which is John Landis's family. So until then, from Jack and from Nick and from myself, Jim, we'll talk to you later.